Okay, welcome. I am really excited to share this video on how to remove, eliminate, or really just integrate food anxiety in some simple steps. So, let's first talk about what food anxiety is. So, food anxiety is that feeling that you get when you are surrounded by food or you get a craving for food, and there's this energy of urgency that arises, and that urgent energy has some physical sensations that are associated with it, like your heart beats quickly or your head starts to pound, but you feel this moving forward. You feel this energy that you just need to do something and you need to relieve this feeling of what I like to call urgency. So, this can be because of a few things. It can be because of some past relationships to food. It can be because of some anxiety that there is around your environment. It can be maybe related to some limiting beliefs or some feelings that you have inside. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this urgency is really a messenger that's telling us that there's something underneath in our feeling body that we need to attend to and attune to. So, the first step is to acknowledge that this feeling and this urgency is really just anxiety. And once we name anxiety, it's a really general term, but it can really help to alleviate some of that uncertainty or disorganized emotions and feelings that you might have. And the second step is to ground yourself. So find an anchor for your attention once you name it's anxiety. And that can either be your breath or just feeling your feet on the floor or just feeling your connection to the earth. And then name the physical sensations of anxiety, which, like I mentioned before, are sometimes it can be knots in your stomach, sometimes it can be your heart beating quickly, other times it can be a headache or a pounding in the jaw. But there are physical sensations of anxiety, and once you connect to them, you're really seeing yourself and you're really taking this more mature stance towards whatever is underneath that needs care, whatever emotion that we're working towards uncovering. We're starting to do that by paying attention to the physical sensation. So, the third thing that we would do is to accept and allow that these sensations are there. So, subconsciously, our brains are so smart that we often avoid feeling any kind of physical discomfort so quickly, and we move into suppressing it and covering up with something else. And that's what emotional eating really is. It's a misguided attempt to help us not feel bad. But if we have this kind of new, more zoomed out approach and feeling about physical sensations that maybe are uncomfortable, and we realize that really they're just messengers telling us there's something we need to attune to, we can tell the part of our brain that wants to take care of us and wants us to feel safe that it's not so bad. We trust ourselves to be with the uncomfortable sensation. So this third step is to sit with the discomfort, feeling in the stomach, the pounding headache, and you'll notice that if you don't try to fix or change this, and if you are attuned and you're more conscious to the direct experience of what's happening, there's a more spacious environment, internal environment that comes. And from that space, there's almost like this feeling of a hug that you get when your parent comes and gives you a hug when you're crying. And from that space, you can be your own parent and you can ask yourself, what am I unwilling to feel here? We know we have anxiety. We know there's physical sensations. We're not running away from it, going to eat something. We're staying steady. We're recognizing that it's uncomfortable what we're staying. And once we do that, there's a certain exhale, there's a certain relief. And now we have the space and we can say, what am I unwilling to feel? And there's almost always an emotion underneath anxiety. And for most people, it's fear, it's anger, it's doubt, it's maybe just this feeling of uncertainty. For some people, it can be related to a direct experience, a certain experience that just happened, or maybe an environment you're in. And for others, it can be existential. This can be just an existential stimulus. So again, the why isn't really as important as getting in touch with the emotion, which is fear, doubt, anger, and learning how to create a conversation between naming the emotion and what that feels like in your body. And this is how we really help to move through emotional eating, because we don't need the food anymore to soothe us. We can learn to soothe ourselves by listening to what we really need. And this is really the best part, because at the end of the day, what we really want is to be able to trust ourselves, right? So we want to know how to trust ourselves. So when you ask yourself, what is this anger? What is this fear? What does this doubt most need? And usually it needs to know that it's okay to be there, and to trust that, it will be okay anyway. It can be there, and you will take your adult self and you will create strategies and create tools and anchors that ground you and help you to achieve and acquire and reach your goals and how you want to live your life, without actually having to abandon yourself in any way. That you can be with the discomfort, you can be with the unknown. And anxiety energy, which is kind of that suppressed urgency, that energy can now be redirected towards things that help you achieve your aspirations, right? So now we've kind of unleashed that energy into our bodies, that instead of obsessing and managing our food, we now could take that energy and we can redirect it towards being productive, towards our relationships, towards being a student, towards learning, right? So this is how we can alchemize anxiety and help to eliminate or at least reduce our emotional eating or our dependence on food to help soothe. And we don't even have to get rid of that urgent energy that is underneath the feeling of wanting to eat, because that energy is good. We just need to redirect it towards doing actions that are more in service of what our heart and what our purpose really is in life. So I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you soon.